Check, check. All right, all right. What's going on? We're just getting a drinky poo together real quick and then we'll get started on cinnamon rolls. Straight out of the KitchenAid Stand Mixer Cookbook. Oh, my hair looks all right. All right, in my life. Okay. Welcome. What's going on, Chemical? Good to see ya. I hope you're ready to make some cinnamon rolls, because we're ready to do it. We're gonna do it right now, and we've got graphics. All right, check this out. So, first of all, thank you for being here. Happy Saturday evening to everyone who is around or not. We're gonna make cinnamon rolls. So, let's talk about some things we need for cinnamon rolls. By giving you an overview, we need actually a lot of things. We need a decent amount of things. And if you're going to bake this rather, we're not gonna cook anything, we're gonna bake it. If you're gonna bake this, it's gonna take about 2 hours in totality if you're going straight through. But through some movie magic, we won't need to take quite that long. So if you wanted to make this the night before, like I'm doing, right? Although I'll probably eat one, because why wouldn't I? You can absolutely do that, right? So we're gonna get everything hooked up. We're gonna go through the dough. We're gonna make the filling, and then we're gonna make some icing while everything is baking. Now, I did mention some movie magic earlier. The very first thing I'm going to do is turn my oven on to 350 degrees and make sure I took out the thing that was in it earlier, because we are going to want to get that preheated. And indeed, there is nothing in the oven. So for this recipe, you need a cup of milk. We're going to use whole milk because that's what we're going to do. You need 2 eggs. You're going to want to bring them to room temperature, so get those out first. You need 4 cups plus 2 tablespoons of flour. Now, I'm using bread flour because it is my preferred flour and the one that we keep in the house. However, worth noting that bread flour has a higher hydration content. You can put more water in it, it's stickier. That's the words. If it absorbs more water. So be aware of that. You can of course also make this with regular old all-purpose flour. You can even use pastry flour if it is in your local grocery store. It is not in mine. You'll also need a half cup of granulated sugar, a cup of light brown sugar, and 1.5 cups, plus 2 tablespoons, of powdered sugar. So we got 3 sugars going into this bad boy. It should be pretty sweet. Oh, excuse me. Tonight we're gonna be using bread flour. Because like I said, that's what I keep in the house. And it is also, it's gonna give a chewier texture to it. So like an all-purpose flour, you might get a little, dare I say, crunch. It's not really the right word, but it's gonna be a little drier, right? Whereas using the bread flour is gonna give us, hopefully, a really nice gooey kind of center that I personally think about when I'm thinking about like the Pillsbury, cinnamon rolls that come out of the, the container you slap on the ground. So we're gonna use bread flour today. After that, we need 2 sticks plus 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And it doesn't actually specify that in the recipe, but in most occasions, I feel like we're always talking about unsalted butter for baking. So we're gonna go for that. You need a package of dry yeast. I wrote a tablespoon in the graphic, but I found out on the back of my container that it is actually 2 1/4 teaspoons if you're not getting a package. So if you go get the regular package, just use the whole package. If you aren't, you're gonna wanna use 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. You also need a teaspoon of salt, 2.5 tablespoons of cinnamon, a teaspoon, I forgot how to talk for a second, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a lemon, just for fresh lemon juice, so you can obviously sub not fresh lemon juice if you want, and a 1/4 cup of cream cheese. So, that's the overview, right? This shouldn't be terribly difficult. I hope. So, let's get started with the dough. For this part, we need a stand mixer with your paddle attachment and a dough hook. I have a fresh lemon tonight. Well, I shouldn't say fresh, but it is a lemon. I actually cut it, or no, I zested it yesterday, but I didn't use it yet. So we will use fresh lemon juice tonight. So for the dough, we're gonna start with a cup of milk. And what we need to do to that milk is put it in the microwave. Actually, before we do that, we're gonna take it out. Yeah, see, I didn't even know what I was talking about. Before we do that, we're gonna give out 2 sticks plus that teaspoon of butter and 2 eggs to come to room temperature. So I've already got those out here. That's looking a little suggestive on the stand mixer. All good, right? So we got those, they're gonna come to room temperature. It's gonna make life a lot easier for us later. Now the milk. So we have our microwave safe Pyrex container, and we're going to grab our whole milk, not before I throw a towel on the floor. We're gonna measure out 1 cup. And I found, I say 10 seconds at a time. You could probably go like 20 seconds at a time, honestly. So let's see here. I need to go this way so I can see the cup. All right, this is whole milk. 1 cup, 8 ounces. We're gonna put that in the microwave. You know, as a kid, I used to have a lot of warm milk and honey to go to sleep, but now I think about that and I think that that wouldn't be good for me. I don't think that'd be good for me anymore. So we're gonna go in, let's start with 20 seconds. And I'm gonna actually grab, while I'm at it, my, what is technically a meat thermometer, but it's just a probe thermometer. We're looking for 110 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm just gonna use this to make life a little easier. So we don't have to guess. Although with yeast, you know, people say it's not very forgiving. Exactly, yeah. So the first list was everything, right? So that was the whole recipe. And then we're gonna divide it out into the 3 parts: the dough, the filling, and then the frosting. So right now we're starting with the dough. So let's grab this milk out. Let's see if it's even warm yet or not. Probably not. No, not even. Give that another 20 seconds-ish. Actually, I'm gonna give it 15. I think 20 is gonna be too many, but 15 might be just right. We'll see. Yeah, let's go to the dough overview. Or do you want the whole overview? Whichever one you want. See where we're at on this milk. Let's bring this down here. Don't focus on me, focus on that. All right, we're not quite there on our milk yet, so we'll give it another, I guess another 10 seconds-ish, 15 seconds. And for 110. Okay, cool. Got that going on, so we're getting this milk up to 110. And this has gotta be close. Threw another towel on the ground, jeez. Let's see where we're at there. Ugh. All right, so I've got my probe thermometer here. Let me bring it down to the iPhone. And so we're trying to get to 110. And 108 is pretty good. 109 is really good. So we'll call that up to temperature for the sake of what we're doing here. And now that we've got that at 110-ish, we're gonna add your package of yeast. So I'm gonna use, I'll show you. I don't know what to call this. A container, a bulk container of yeast. It looks like this. I keep it in my fridge because that's what it says to do. So we're gonna grab this. Again, if you're using a package that you would buy like off the shelf, whole package goes in. In this case, I need 2 1/4 teaspoons, which in my assessment is gonna be the rest of what I've got here. That's gonna go right into the milk. I'm just gonna pour it out this way now. Now, you know, if your yeast isn't bubbling once you get this in here, you might add a little sugar just to get it going, give it something to eat. Yeast, of course, likes sugar and converts it into, I think it converts it into alcohol, technically. But we're gonna stir this up. Bring you back to the iPhone. All right, we're just gonna get that all incorporated as best you can. It's not a big deal if it's not like all dissolved or whatever. If the temperature's right, should be good to go. All right, so you got that. Kind of like to go on the sides there because the little pieces try to run up the sides when you're mixing it. So that's a great shot of my hand. All right, so you're gonna have something that looks like this. It's not super appetizing looking by any means, but we're gonna set this aside and let the yeast start to do its thing on the sugars that are in the milk. Oops, sorry about that. And like I said, if it doesn't appear to be reacting at all, like there's no bubbles, maybe a teensy bit of sugar in there to give it something to get going on. We'll see. If you don't have any bubbles after like 10 or 15 minutes, that's probably not a great sign. So if you're 10 or 15 minutes in, you don't have any bubbles or anything on that, then add a little sugar. Yeah, just add a little sugar. We already did that part. Yes, we did. Okay, now we're gonna want our stand mixer bowl, all right? And to this, we are going to add 4 cups plus a tablespoon of flour. I don't know if you have to be that precise, but that's what it calls for. A half a cup of your granulated sugar, right? So this is just regular table sugar. And then a teaspoon of salt. So let's grab those things from my magical back counter. Oh, and I can get rid of this thermometer now. We're done with the thermometer for now. Actually, I think we're done with the thermometer for the whole time. I will put that away. All right, like I said, right, we're using bread flour today. We're gonna get 4 cups and some change here. I think like we talked about last week, see, I've already made a mess. Not doing a super heavy pack on these or anything, just kind of, oven's ready. Grabbing a cup, leveling it off, calling that good. We're not gonna pack it or anything like that. Just let it be. There's one. Kind of got I really should get a bigger container for my flour because this is just not quite enough space. I also shouldn't have worn black because I'm gonna be absolutely covered in flour by the end of this. So, all right, here's our second cup. Try and get a little more there. There we go. Take your knife, right off the top there, just like that. Nice. That's 2 cups. Let's get a third. There we go. Finally. First try. Now this is gonna make a really, really sticky dough. And you'll see what I mean here once we get it in the mixer. There's the 3rd cup. All right, 1 more whole cup here. Oops, sorry about that, jeez. All right, there's our 4th cup. And then 1 tablespoon additional. Set our cup off of this. Actually, got a little bit of flour stuck in there. That would be very precise of us. All right, 4 cups, and then we're gonna grab 1 extra tablespoon. Don't know why I got rid of my knife, because I'm gonna wanna use it here. So level off my tablespoon, bam. All right, we're done with the flour. That easy. So we'll take our flour, put it back over here, and I'm gonna grab my little sweeper really quick, such that I don't end up wearing too much of this flour for the rest of the evening. Let's sweep that up. And I'm not gonna sweep this up. if you're gonna mix by hand, you're gonna mix it until it comes together. And we're gonna do that here in just a couple of minutes. Probably, here's the thing, right? We're not trying to beat these glutens into form or anything. So you don't need to like go nuts, especially if you're doing it by hand, because this dough is thick. So I'll show you when we get to, we are gonna do it in the stand mixer, obviously, but once we get there, the consistency should be pretty obvious, and I'll point it out once we're there. 2 minutes, I'm sure, is fine. Like I said, it's just so that there's no more dry flour. That's what you're gonna try to avoid. So once we add our wet ingredients, you don't want any more dry flour left. Sounds like I'm talking about something else. Coming up here is our half cup of sugar. I like to do 2 1/4 cups because that is what fits in my little sugar container. So I'll do 2 1/4 cups. Yeah, 2 minutes should be plenty. I think, all right, we're done with granulated sugar for now. And then we need 1 teaspoon of salt. Now, for what it's worth, for this particular step, I actually learned, oops, oh boy, that was too much salt. Crap. Just gonna dump a little off there. So I'm actually supposed to throw it over your shoulder, so. Whoop. For this part, right, we don't actually have to do anything crazy because we're literally, I said with the paddle attachment, and then I learned that you probably shouldn't do that. So for right here, right, oh, let me bring you to the iPhone so you can see into what we are doing. So this is just dry ingredients, right? So all we're talking is our flour, our sugar, and our salt. So as far as this part, you can just grab anything, right? And literally just to get it together. You know, 2 minutes, of course, would definitely be quite incorporated, but I'm sorry, I didn't understand the context of it, or I wasn't looking at the context of the question. But we are gonna use our paddle mixer next. So we'll get ready for that. So yeah, there you go, right? Doesn't need to be sifted, just to be combined. What were we on, step 4? Yes, we were, step 4. Okay, awesome. Done with our salt for now. Put that away as well. Cool, on to the next. So here's where we're gonna need the paddle mixer. And this is where we're gonna add our 2 eggs that have been sitting out, right? So these are gonna be about room temperature. And then 5 tablespoons plus a teaspoon worth of butter. So we'll grab our eggs, roll up our sleeves a little bit as well. All right. Just crack our eggs right in here. Then we'll wash our hands really quick. Oh boy, shell in there, not good. All right, doesn't look like I was too affected. All right, do a quick rinse on the hands. And then we're gonna measure out 5 tablespoons plus, what did I say, plus 2 teaspoons? I'll bring it back up in a second. All right. Got our hands washed. Was that step 6? Nope, step 5. 5 tablespoons and 1 teaspoon worth. Okay. So that is also equivalent to 5 1/3 tablespoons. So here on my butter, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and like 1/3-ish. Where's that knife? Here we go. I'm just gonna use the markings on the paper. We're not gonna go for maximum precision here. All right, 5 and about 1/3. Okay. That's going right in as well. It may behoove us to cut that into smaller pieces, but it does not specify. We'll set that aside because that rest of that butter can keep coming up to room temperature. Now, we're gonna add our paddle attachment, looking like that, to our mixer. I'm gonna bring the iPhone over there so we can see. Oh, get my Coca-Cola out of the way. Okay, here we go. Great. All right, to the iPhone we go. Here at the mixer, I'm gonna bring our bowl in. Now here's the thing. This is a very, very dry mixture. So I'm actually going to get and use the cover. So we'll set that down in there, lock it into place. And then there is this, they call it a pour spout, but I call it a make marginally less mess spout. And we're gonna set this on low just to combine it. And you see, we're still losing a little bit, but it should come together relatively quickly. I think I mentioned last week, I really hope that most recipes assume you're gonna lose a little bit. And so what you're gonna end up with here is this kind of a very crumb-like mixture. And well, that's mostly because your butter wasn't melted, right? So it's not gonna conglomerate into a dough yet. It's just gonna be sort of dry and crumb-like. So I'm gonna give this a couple more seconds, but there's not really much more for it to do here. All right. Only a little bit of flour all over everywhere. Grab our spatula. So, okay, there's a bit of a chunk on there. We'll probably need to go run that a little bit more, but otherwise, you know, it's pretty much just like crumbs. That's all it really is. So yeah, we're gonna give this a little more time since there was that big chunk that came off the beater there. If you're doing it by hand, you'll be able to avoid that, so that's good. Well, little advantage to hand, right? There's nothing wrong with using a little elbow grease. Okay. Let that get going a little more. All right, in the meantime, our milk's been sitting for probably about 10 minutes. And we do have, albeit small, there is a little bubble action right there up top. So we know our yeast is at least doing something. Okay, that should be good. Great. Yep, so kind of like, what does it remind me of? It reminds me of something. Yeah, it's kind of like sand, really. It's really kind of like sand. It's not gonna taste like much yet, so unfortunately licking the beater here is not all that exciting of a of a prospect, but it's all right. So, we've got all that ready, and now, yep, 10 minutes on the yeast and milk, about. And sure enough, it is bubbling. So now we're ready. I put a little piece of myself in there though. Hold on, got a little fabric in there. Yep, so we've been sitting about 10 minutes on that. I'm sure we could run back the timer to check. But now we have our milk and yeast mixture, and that is going to go in to our mixer. So this is what I was talking about, right? So this part's gonna be a little difficult by hand, but not impossible. I only recently got this stand mixer, and I used to make doughs all the time by hand. Just takes a little extra effort. So I am gonna take my dough hook, which looks like that, and we're gonna attach that to the mixer, put that down in, and now we're gonna add in our milk and yeast mixture. We're just gonna do it all at once. No biggie. Actually, I'm gonna pull this up for a second. Grab the spatula as well and kind of get the last, because as your yeast starts to activate, it kind of gets a little weird and sticks to the side there. So grab your rubber spatula, you can get in there and get most of it out. And we'll set that aside for now. All right, in goes the dough hook. Now, so this is what I'm talking about. This is gonna get really, really gummy, really, really quick. See, it's coming together there. It's a little glue-like. But like I said, that's because we use bread flour. If you use all-purpose flour, it may not be quite so, what's the word? Hydrated. It's just whatever your preference is. We'll see how it turns out at the end here. Because for all we know, doing it with bread flour is the wrong way, and we'll all learn a valuable lesson today. I'm gonna go through here, just kind of scrape down the sides, make sure all of the dry ingredient is incorporated. Flip it over there. There we go. All right, put the hook back in, give that just another couple of seconds. All right, there we go. So now it's all come together. Like I say, incredibly sticky dough, but it is all incorporated, right? Not too much dry ingredient left. So, put the dough hook away for now. So you can eat it, but it doesn't taste very good yet. So don't be too disappointed. It's a lot of flour. All right, so now we need a bowl, and we're gonna really lightly oil it, and then we're gonna put the dough in it. So let me go grab my bowl. I'm sure that was fun. All right, cool. Got my big red bowl. You're gonna want a flavorless oil for this, so I would recommend like vegetable or canola. You can use olive oil if you want, but it's probably gonna add an unexpected flavor. So do be aware of that. Let me bring you back over here. Oops. Ah, my paddle. My paddle. Okay, let's bring you here to the bowl. So what I do, put a little oil in the bottom, grab a plastic glove here, just to save me one trip to the sink. Got that all lubed up. Get rid of that glove because we're done with it, except we really weren't, but that's okay. So now the whole mixing bowl is coming off over to our oiled bowl. Use your spatch. Just try to dump it out as best you can. You're gonna get some stuck to the bowl. You're also gonna have apparently a bit of dry stuff come out. That's probably fine. We'll address it later. I got that in there. And then we're gonna cover this with plastic wrap. You're good. Cover this with plastic wrap and then a towel. They can't see you. All right. Oh, you gonna drink? Nice. Here, I'll take your mug. Magic mug from off screen. Have I already pre-made dough? I sure have. We're not gonna wait for this to proof. I've got some here on the counter that we'll get out in just a second. What I'm gonna do with this dough actually is we're gonna go ahead and freeze it. Once it proofs. No, not right now. So we're gonna grab, I'm actually using cling wrap. Oh, which is my arch nemesis, really. This bowl is exactly as big as the cling wrap. Well, yeah, thank you. I was just thinking, you know, I was like, first of all, I know we don't want to burn 2 hours waiting for this dough to rise. Otherwise, we'd be here all night, literally. You know, it's that movie magic. That, just like being on the Food Network or whatever. So there you go. Let's get that over the top. And you're gonna use a dish towel, cover it up. So this couldn't, sorry, showed all my words there. You can leave this on the counter and it'll rise. It'll probably take about 2 hours. If you wanna speed it up a little bit, what I like to do is I put it in the oven. Now the oven's not on, but the oven light is on. And that gives you just a little bit of warmth in there that'll probably say 2/3 to half your time. So the dough that I put in there earlier, I put it in the oven, it was ready in about an hour. So just something to consider if you are in a rush, if you are making this on like a Sunday morning or whatever. So I'm gonna put this one aside and it's gonna rise and do its thing. I can't put it in the oven right now because the oven is, of course, the oven is on. So that wouldn't be a good thing for me to do. All right. So that's the end of the dough, right? Dough rests, we're on to the next part, which is that we are going to make our filling, okay? So I'm gonna bring up the overview for the filling, so you can copy this down if you want to. This is where we're dealing with our sugar and a little more butter, actually. So for here, we just need a bowl, right? We're not doing anything crazy with this filling. It just goes in the bowl. We're gonna mix it by hand, no problems. So let me grab a bowl that will contain all of this. There we go. Ah! Making a mess over here. All right, so let me grab what we need here. We need our light brown sugar. Oh, we do need one more. We need 1 more tablespoon of flour. Yes, because, okay, this is actually funny. The instructions, the actual written recipe specifies flour or cornstarch in the ingredients section, but in the actual recipe, it only mentions flour. So I figure we'll just use flour. Cool. Cup of sugar, tablespoon of flour, 2 1/2 tablespoons of cinnamon, and 1/3 of a cup of butter. Okay, cool. Also, I'm gonna put the stand mixer bowl right now in the sink with a little soap because we're gonna need it in a little while, a couple minutes. So I wanna just get some of that dough soaking because it is pretty hard to get off. Like I said, it's an extremely sticky dough. I'm very happy that you're here. I appreciate you tuning in. This was, after all, your suggestion. So, you know, really, it's all your fault, is really what it is. All right, what do we need? Our cup of light brown sugar. Tablespoon of flour. Okay. Cool. Man, 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, that is a lot. Is that right? That's what it says, 2 1/2 tablespoons. All right, so here we go. I guess for 8 people. This makes 8 servings, by the way. Okay, call that 1. definitely gonna like sneeze hard in a minute, so my apologies. All right, there's 2. Then a half would technically be 1 1/2 teaspoons. We're just gonna eyeball it for the sake of, because. So you go 2 1/2 tablespoons of cinnamon. I should have done the flour first, that's all right. 1 tablespoon of flour. I'm just gonna do that with my finger this time. Yeah, there you go. Tablespoon flour. Sick voice crack I just had. Let's see. Cup of light brown sugar. I think like the granulated sugar, I'm just gonna do 4 1/4 cups. I think that's gonna be a little easier to handle. And with brown sugar, we normally measure in packed cups. So we're gonna do an actual packing there. So there's 1/4. 2/4. Oh, didn't quite get that one all the way. There we go. 3/4. Come on now. And 1 whole cup. All right, and then we're gonna grab our butter, and in a way, we're almost putting a, we're almost making a butterscotch, almost. Let's see, no steps for this process, just mixing all the ingredients. Yeah, so for the, let me get the overview again. So for this one, it really is just put the sugar, the flour, the cinnamon, and the butter together, and then we're gonna just dry it. Wow, I'm looking at the YouTube stream, which is like running seriously in arrears. It's crazy how far behind it is. That's weird. I think Twitch is practically live. Interesting. But yeah, like I say, for the filling, right, we're just mixing this stuff up, and that's gonna be it. But we do have to do this before the dough comes out, because we're going to do the dough part next. And we're gonna see how that goes. We're gonna see how that goes, because I am not super sure that I have this pre-made dough done correctly. I did realize when I was going back and reviewing and getting ready to actually go live that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1/3. I used an entire stick of butter. 2 tablespoons. This one is, for the filling, it is 1 tablespoon of flour. Just 1 for the flour here. All right, so here's all that. And let's see, I have a tinier spatula that makes more sense, and this will be good too, because we're gonna use this to spread it out. So my butter still wasn't quite soft enough, even though it's been out for a while. So this might need some TLC here. You could probably give this 15 seconds in the microwave to just kind of finish it off. I might do that, just to get it all mixed in there. Well, let's get a good mix first, and then we can put it in the microwave to finish off that butter. Because this, you're gonna want this, you know, pretty uniform, because like I said, we're gonna spread it inside the dough. This is that filling, so want to make sure it's nice and homogeneous. The spatula is also a little wonky because it's not very stable. It's more of a spreading spatula. So I'm gonna give this, I'm gonna cheat, I'm gonna give this like 10-15 seconds in the microwave. Not too long, because otherwise you're gonna be in a world of hurt if that sugar melts. So here's hoping this doesn't melt or catch fire. What could go right? All right. That appears to have done approximately nothing because sugar is going to have a pretty high heat. Oh, there we go. There we go. We're going. We're going. It's happening. All right. Here we go. So now that butter's had a little bit of assistance. Like I say, you see where it's turning that darker brown. That's getting in with the brown sugar. And like I said, making what is essentially a butterscotch. Although it's a really basic butterscotch. But that's essentially what we're looking at. So get this so there's no more dry parts left. We have to fold it over a couple times like we did last week with the eggs for the tres leches, right? Just kind of bring it up and over. Make sure we're getting every little piece interacting with the butter. Don't want to see any more of those streaks there. Yeah, see, now we're talking. You want to make sure this is pretty to your liking as well, so do taste it, because this is where the vast majority of your flavor profile is going to come from for this recipe. The actual roll part, the bread part, is not terribly flavorful. That could be operator error, for what it's worth. I could have done it wrong, but... Okay, so if you see here, right, now we have this kind of brown paste. And it, again, should now, instead of like the dry sand that the flour was, this should be more like a wet sand. You can see, right, we don't have any more streaks there. We can kind of lay it and play with it and bring it out. Like, what was that stuff called? Squand or something? Nickelodeon used to sell it. I don't remember. All right, so I'm gonna give this a taste really quick, see how it is. Okay, good, good. Really good. I have no notes, and we're gonna eat a little more. Right. Yeah, I mean, brown sugar and butter, you really can't go wrong with it. It's just about the best thing, in my opinion, you can make. Okay, so if you were making this in real time, right, this is when your oven goes on. We just went through that process of the bowl and the mixing all of those things. Okay, now we're gonna get into the fun part. And by the fun part, I mean the part where we're gonna find out if I screwed this up to an unusable level. So we're gonna back up the phone a little bit. We're gonna spread out our work area. And we're gonna grab our flour and we're just gonna throw a little bit here on the counter. And by a little bit, we probably actually want a lot, because I know for a fact this dough is so wet that it's probably gonna try to stick to the counter immediately. So I did wash this counter before we started. It is clean and edible, and we eat pizza off it every week. All right, so as promised, the magical hiding dough. Oh, let me bring you down to the phone here. Great, so this was our dough that I did earlier today that, like I said, does have way too much butter in it, but it has absolutely doubled or more in size. And it's, again, pretty wet. So we're just gonna bring it out onto the work surface. Get this bowl. I bought another bowl just for this. I was like, dang, I need another bowl. I knew I did. Now what we're looking for here is a rectangle that is approximately, what is it actually supposed to be? Let's see. I think like 16 by 12. So that's like a foot and some change by a foot. So you can do this with your hands. I'm gonna use a rolling pin. Seems like it would be easier. And we're just gonna try and roll this out into the best rectangle I can muster, all things considered. Okay, like I said, right? Extremely wet. And this is not necessarily a bad thing, but it is a thing to be aware of. Because working with really wet doughs is kind of a pain. Not gonna lie. So there you go. I put a little flour on the rolling pin there on top. And this has actually gone pretty swimmingly as far as making a rectangle is concerned. So it's probably a little big on that side, but that's all right. Cool, so you do want it longer in one direction, so we'll push it up a little more at the top there. As far as thickness, we're about there, about a quarter inch. Yeah, so we're pretty good here. So it should look like this. You can see it's very, very moist, but surprisingly not too sticky so far. So we're done with this. We just kind of got our little, our little square of fun. Rectangle of fun. Okay. So now all we're doing beyond this is we're spreading our filling, right? So we've got our filling here. We're gonna spread it. We're just gonna spread it. That's it. I'll put a nice chunk on there. All right. And the thing is, you have to be a little careful while you're doing this because you risk pulling the dough up and kind of breaking it. So be gentle, right? Just loving it gently. Nothing too aggressive here. I'm gonna start in the middle and try and work my way out. Because the last thing I want to do is have big, weird spots that don't have any filling in it. But of course, on the other hand, you don't want it. Actually, I don't know. I mean, like I say, brown sugar and butter, I do want that. I want that at all times and in all places. So, yeah, like I said, I'm trying to be careful here because I can see I'm adjusting the thickness of this on accident in a couple of places. So try to keep it as flat as possible. Otherwise, you might end up with doughy spots. I mean, I wouldn't worry about it too much, but got anything fun planned for the weekend? Or for, well, I guess the weekend's halfway over. I know you work today. Anything fun for tomorrow? Some serious action here. I'm going to leave a little bit of a border. Actually, no, I don't need to leave a little bit of the border. Never mind. There's no reason for that because we're going to cut it into 8 rolls, and they're going to get cut this way. So we don't actually want to leave a border if we can avoid it. We'll see how much filling we've got. Yeah, see there, I got a little aggressive again. Come here. There we go. Cool. This is weirdly satisfying. Like it's like playing in wet sand. Oh yeah, see I'm pulling the dough there a little bit, so let's try and fix that as best we can. As best we can. Okay, cool. It looks good, right? It's easy, right? I'm excited. Is Mom back tomorrow? Will you give her the rest? Will we give Mom the rest of the other batch? Yeah, we could, yeah, if they're back, or if they want it. Well, if they're good, rather. No, they're not done, but the dough's done. So I made the dough, one dough earlier, And then that one's resting, so it'll be ready tomorrow. But I think maybe if they want it. Yeah. Nathan's French fries after work? Hell yeah. Man, I haven't had Nathan's since I've been up the shore. Like literally that was probably the last time I had it was when I was in Wildwood. And that's been a decade. Easy. Man, I miss those. Food showers, eat some snacks, enjoy my games. Right back to work Monday. Well, awesome, man. I'm glad you had a smooth day. You know, when I went to the store, it was packed, so you got the luck on that. For sure. Nice one. Yeah, I love when the store's easy. Have a nice smooth day at work. And just chill at the end of the day. That's good stuff. All right, so this is pretty evenly done-ish. It actually looks crazier on the camera than it is in real life, I promise. I promise it doesn't look that bad. All right, just kind of gotta give it a little last bit of love here. All right. Cool, and now we're gonna roll this up like a log, and we're rolling it up. Oh, you know what though? We're actually rolling it up this way. We're rolling it up hot dog style. Now, what I did not bother to think is how I'm gonna roll this up. Because I'm sure it's stuck to the counter. I'm sure it is. What if let's get crazy. Let's try taking the pin and like rolling up under it. Some real conveyor belt kind of shit here. Nope, it does not want to do that. I was thinking like get it rolled up over top and then flip it, but guess not. Oh, actually, you know what? This isn't too bad. All right, so this part, I guess, is going to be somewhat personal preference as to how thick you want your layers, right? So these are going to be quite sizable, I can tell already. We're going to really gently bring these up here. You see, we're sticking a little bit, but actually not too bad. And I guess the beauty is that even if it's getting weird on the inside, we'll just fix it at the edge. Nobody will see this part until they bite into it, and even then, how are you gonna tell? How's anybody gonna know, huh? All right, so you do need a pretty big work surface for this. Obviously, you can resize it to your own needs though. So if you need if you just have a cutting board, that's fine. This looks crazy. Wow, okay. Like a little snake. This is gonna make far more than 8 cinnamon rolls in my opinion. Okay, let's get that rolled up so that seam is facing down. Wow, there you go. It kind of looks like a Subway sandwich. A little bit, right? All right, it looks like a Subway. Isn't that funny? There you go, log formed. Oh, yeah, rinse my hands off real quick. All right, so while this is doing that, we're gonna need to butter a pan. I'm actually gonna do that before I cut them because otherwise, I feel like it's just gonna be a mess. So I'm gonna use our metal baking pan. This is a 9x13, just like the one we used last week for the tres leches. And in fact, it is the same one. And I did have to eat tres leches all week. Worst thing that could happen to me, right? So this we're gonna grease lightly with some butter. I have a little teensy tiny bit of salted butter left. I'm just gonna use that because I just need to get rid of it. So we will get our pan greasing. Oh boy, it is, oh wow, okay, that is it's quite room temperature. It is extremely room temperature, in fact. So I might actually just kind of, oh boy, all right. That is a bit crazy. Let me grab You know what? We're just gonna go for it. We're just going for it. Our hands are clean. Whatever. All right, so this is plenty of butter here. So this was about 2 teaspoons of butter. So let's just go to town. Let's get up those sides. All right, there we go. Cool. Try and make that base as smooth as possible, because that butter and cinnamon sugar mixture is gonna melt out while they cook, and it's gonna be a lot. So let me wash my hands again real quick. Since they're now covered in butter, not super ideal. All right, cool. Hands are clean again. Okay, and now we're gonna cut this log into enough pieces to go in there. I think we're probably a little longer than we're supposed to be. Brush the tiles with butter. You know, that's a great idea. We should do that. Why not? Yeah, we'll do that. Hell yeah. So we're gonna slice this up into a number of pieces. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna halve and halve and halve. It's usually the easiest way. You really probably shouldn't use the knife on the counter like this, but we'll live. So we're gonna take a half right off the bat, right down. Let's take a half again, and then a half again, and that actually looks to be about the right size. Sorry, I need to get new knives anyway. Not too disappointed. There we go. So our log is sliced into 8 equal-ish pieces, and now we're just gonna put those right into, look at that. Oh yeah, almost a circle. There we go. If I just give it a little loving, it's a circle. So we're gonna smash those right into our pan. I'm gonna flatten them just a little bit because I think they're a little wonky shape-wise. Hey, but you know what? First try, right? So I'm just kind of get them in there and push them down just a little bit. Get them circled. And these are gonna blow up, I imagine, pretty good, especially with the yeast. There we go. So I'm actually gonna let them be opposite on sides here. I'm just gonna leave that part in the middle because I think it's gonna be pretty explosive once they go in. So, of course, that's a lot of butter now, but that's okay because you know what? Since we're gonna brush the tops with some butter, let me grab my rubber spatula. Yeah, that's right. This is where we're gonna play with the food. Damn right. Look at my little rubber spatula here. Bring some of that butter out off the bottom onto the tops of these. And with the oven at 350, you know, we shouldn't have to worry too much about the amount of smoke we're gonna cause with this butter. So we're just gonna go for it here. Welcome in. I see a couple new viewers here. Welcome to the party. We're making cinnamon buns, cinnamon rolls. They're technically, allegedly, they are cinnabon cinnamon rolls. That is what the recipe claims. I have not yet any time to make an adjudication on that, but we're gonna find out here in about 20 minutes or so. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see. So these should be ready to go in the oven actually, and I believe that is the instruction. We're gonna roll them into logs and we're gonna grease them and we're gonna put them in the oven for 20 minutes. So, oh wow, okay, that is extremely hefty. Yeah, we're chilling. It does not say which. What's up, LRB? I feel like I've seen you before. We're gonna put them on a top rack. No, we're not. We're gonna put them in the middle rack. Top rack seems pretty crazy. Middle rack, 20 minutes. Cool. Next up, we gotta make the frosting. So I'm gonna let you have a look at that frosting ingredients real quick while I, first of all, unburn my hand, which I just did, but I also need to clean out our mixing bowl because we're gonna need it to make this icing. Let's see here. I know this is the exciting part when you're just looking at a graphic. Yes, this is what you came for. Nobody tell Taylor Swift and Calvin Harris though. Let me in, this is what you came for. Lightning strikes every time she moves. Yeah, this really was Chemical's idea. He said, let's make cinnamon rolls. And I said, we're doing it. Why not? Yeah, I've never, yeah. Never made a cinnamon roll. Let's see how they go. All right, so we've got our bowl rinsed out. We've got our paddle rinsed off. We didn't go too hard on the cleaning because we're just, you know, oh. My finger was too wet. Now it's all freaked out. So, oh, I should have let that cream cheese sit out. Oh, I'm gonna regret that. Just thought about it. I thought about it as soon as I saw it come up on screen. Yes, LRB is the other half. She's in the other room. Although without context, it just seems like you're gluten-free, which is also fine. All right. So what do we need here? 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. Oh man, that's a lot. Okay, actually let me bring this over here so we can all watch together. The counter is officially ruined and is now covered in all kinds of things. Very sorry. Okay, we've got our mixer bowl back. We're gonna grab our powdered sugar or confectioner's sugar, depending on what your brand calls it. And we need 1.5 cups. So that is a lot. That is a lot of sugar. Like I said, this recipe does not skimp on the sugar. So, here we go. Oh, I should really, hold on. Before I do this, I really need to get that cream cheese out. That's the girlfriend, that's right. She's in chat. All right, let's get this setting anyway. Do a quick peek on the oven here. Let's see if it's caught fire yet. It has not. Huge win. Okay. Here we go. This is a lot of confectioner's sugar. Okay, 1 cup. And then, oh my goodness, oh, it's smoking everywhere. Wow. All right, and then 2/4 cup for a half. And then it's also like plus two tablespoons, something. That's not it. Nah, I'm on step 15. No, I'm not. I'm on step 14. And 2 tablespoons. All right, where's my tablespoon? Here it is. That is so much powdered sugar. But you know what? I thought it was too much flour, and I don't actually think it was. So, oh, okay. So we just gave it a lot extra, and I'm just gonna put this tablespoon back. That's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna put that one back because I just put a lot in there. So that's fine. I'm sure it's fine. It's literally, we're making frosting. I don't think anybody's gonna be mad if it's too sweet. That's for sure. So I'll set that aside for now. We need 1/4 cup of cream cheese. Actually, before we do anything, stop everything. Last week, I forgot to put vanilla extract in the tres leches cake, which was apparently an ingredient. So let's just do that now. Let's get that teaspoon of vanilla going before I forget. There we go. That's that good stuff. Yeah, I sure am a silly goose, aren't I? That's funny. All right, let's do some quick maths. Half a cup, a quarter cup of cream cheese has got to be 2 ounces, right? If an ounce is 2 tablespoons, nope. We're gonna have to Google it. Hold on. So I should have looked this up. I should have looked this up beforehand. How many ounces in 0.25 cups? 2, yes, indeed. So 1/4 of a pack of cream cheese, which I really should have brought to room temperature because I'm telling you, this is this is where I'm glad I have the stand mixer. So, Chemical, when you're making this, note that the cream cheese also needs to come to room temperature. So bring that out at the beginning with the eggs and the butter. What's funny is I remember thinking that when I was writing the recipe, but I forgot to say it. So now I'm saying it. Because yeah, if you're not using a stand mixer, that's gonna hurt. So let's grab 2 ounces, which is a 1/4 brick-ish of your cream cheese. All right, cool. Yeah, I got that one down. Come on. All right, there we go. Pick that up off the floor for like the 100th time. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm just gonna go below that. No, I'm definitely on step 15. No, I'm on step 14. Come on, I should have written notes on the steps. What kind of a fool am I? Okay, this is where we need the last of our butter also, which is actually interesting because I don't know that I can think of a time where I put in butter into a frosting unless it was a buttercream frosting, and that is not a thing I've made. So, there we go. That was the last of our butter in totality, right? So we originally got out 2 sticks plus, what, 2 teaspoons? We used the 2 teaspoons to grease it? Yeah, to grease it. To grease the pan. So that's the last of the butter there. And then we need that, I'm on step 14. I know for a fact I'm on step 14. Okay, we have 1.5 cups plus 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar. We have a 1/4 cup of cream cheese. We have 6 tablespoons of butter, which is about, okay, so we just need that lemon juice. Half a teaspoon. That is an insane measurement to try and get. Let's see, I know I have it as a measurement though. Where did a cup start to kick in? Maybe. I had a rum and Coke today. Nothing too crazy. I just get really excited whenever LRB's around, that's all. All right, so we threw in a 1/2 teaspoon of lemon juice. It's all in there. It's all in there. All right, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're going over there. Let's take you over there. Let's get this over there. And again, though, for what it's worth, I'm putting the guard on because powdered sugar, in the stand mixer, I know for a fact that's about to blow up. Yeah, I know that's right. Let's see. Cool, got that. Let me grab you. Cool. Send you to the iPhone. All right, I just need you to watch this for me if you wouldn't mind. Cool. We're halfway done on the rolls. They're huge, as I expected. They're ginormous. So that's just supposed to come together to be icing. I feel like we don't have quite enough liquid, but That's okay. We're gonna grab a beverage. Talking to no way one ramen coke makes you chip on a mixer. You'd be surprised. My brother likes to make one drink per night, but the thing is that a drink, you know, it can have 5 ounces of liquor in it if you feel so inclined. But we're gonna grab a nice beer here. Oh, okay, well that really actually came together, didn't it? Look at that. Take it back over there. Cool. That's looking pretty smooth. What? Oh. Although I did not have it secured, as it turns out. All right, so let's get a little action here. What does that mean? Why would I say it like that? That's not what I meant. I meant get a spoon. I literally just wanted a spoon. That's all. So we're gonna have a spoon here. We're gonna check it for sweetness. You know what's crazy? That does taste like cinnabon icing. Saying 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. Yeah, 1.5 cups of powdered sugar in there. It is actually not quite homogeneous, so I'm gonna let it go a little longer. See if it can get a little more homogeneous. That's a fun word, homogeneous. All right, in the meantime, I'm gonna put away my powdered sugar because there's been plenty of that. Get those taken care of. All right, awesome. So the icing, if you're gonna make the rolls the night before, you don't necessarily have to make the icing the night before. You could absolutely make this in the morning. Of course, I'm saying in the morning, like you could eat them whenever you want. You don't have to eat them in the morning. But yeah, just make your icing whenever, right before you serve it. The lemon juice makes all the difference. That's crazy. That is so good. All right, we got about 7 minutes left. These are gonna be huge. They're gonna be so big. Hold on, let me let me clean up a little bit. I'll take the camera down there. They're gonna be ginormous. Just like, I guess, just like a cinnamon roll would be. Wow. That's criminal. That should really be a crime. I got all this sugar. Oh, man. All right. Take them down. E-deck. Okay. Take it to the iPhone here. They're huge. They, we can't really get the angle, but you can see that they're touching, and there was like a whole space in between them when we started. So they're gonna be quite big, I think. All right, so in the meantime, we're gonna get ready a cooling rack for them, so that way we can just literally cool them off faster, so we can eat them faster. Get some of these ingredients put away, so we'll no longer be requiring them. Get a party started in the sink, because there's a lot of dishes to do. And hopefully I don't forget about the the other dough. That'd be really embarrassing. All right. Get our frosting off to the side here. Yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna be pretty pleased here. I think they're gonna be pretty good. Not to toot my own horn too much, but let me. I'm also gonna have like a whole new cavity by tomorrow morning. Well, that's just how it goes. Well, let's see. All right, I was gonna get out the cooling rack so I can put these buns right on the rack. We're gonna need to like probably dismantle one just to make sure it's cooked. Because, you know, like I said, we don't really have any idea how these are gonna turn out, but, or rather, you know, everything depends on the oven. So 20 minutes for some, could be 30 minutes for others. That's right, yeah, so you can end up with a ginormous mess, can't you? I know, I sure as hell can, and do. All right, so you know, we're done with the mixer, so we'll spray it with a little alcohol, wipe here, get this put away so we can get it off the counter. Get some of this flour. It's crazy how much flour they really seem to catch, isn't it? Flour magnets. Taking care of my pride and joy of the kitchen. A gift from LRB. Okay, cool. Let's get her put away. Oh. Yep, oven is at 350 degrees. Although I did not poop it there, I popped it. But I suppose I could poop it if I needed to. Not even gonna be hungry by the end. Oh, I've had so much sugar from all the place. All right, only a couple minutes left on that timer. Get these dry ingredients picked up here off the counter. Lost one to the ground. I think that'll be a present for the dog. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna grab the sponge here, a little dish soap. Get this countertop cleaned up. That dough will stick. Let's get that sorted as best we can. Really put your back into it, you know? All right. There we go. It's nice and cleaned off. One last thing. What do we got? Oh, 50 seconds. All right, come on. Really like at the roulette table, hoping that it, hoping it's done. I don't have to put it back in. Let's see what it looks like. Now they look pretty good, but they're not very brown. Maybe we should put more butter on them. Maybe we take them out and put some more butter on them. Maybe that's what we'll do. All right. Get that cooling rack ready. And I know these are heavy, so we're gonna use 2 gloves. 2 gloves. Because I think we're going to want to give them a little more time, but actually I'll put that over there so you can see it. Well, you know what? They actually are a little brown, but I suspect that they're not quite done. Yeah. Let's see. All right, well, that's okay because we have the opportunity, right? So let's put a little more butter on them. And, yeah. Get a little bowl here. I could probably go for 5 more minutes easily. Because I mean they're hard, but they're not so. I don't think they're so done that they're like done. If that made any sense at all. All right, let's get another tablespoon-ish of butter. Give that 30. That'll be more than enough. And I think I actually threw my. Yes, I did. Give this a quick wash. All right. Just beat the devil out of it. All right, so we got our little more butter here. Like we said earlier, right? Who's gonna be mad about a little extra butter? Not me. Certainly not me. They really did. They blew up though. I'm glad I didn't put them right next to each other because we would have been in trouble. We would have been in trouble. They would not have survived here. All right. We're gonna put these back in maybe 4 or 5 minutes. There we go. All right, now you got plenty of butter loving. And you know what? Make it really interesting. We'll put it on the top rack. Look at that. Get a little closer to the that top burner. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna have 4 minutes. I'm afraid if I give it 5, we're gonna go too far and we'll get it back. And that wouldn't be great. Probably. So let's go ahead and load this dishwasher in the meantime. So that's that real excitement, isn't it? The nice thing is I can let the dishwasher do all this work. Well, most of it anyway. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see, put those in there. Alright, good stuff. Probably move on. Oh, I do actually need this to be clean because we're going to need to spread our icing when it becomes time. Probably need a spatula too. Probably need and want a spatula. So it's technically on the list, so we're good to go there. Quick dish action in the meantime. Some of these things taken care of. What we got? 1:50. Almost there. And then one of these ones we'll take out, we'll cut into it, make sure it's done. I don't personally mind underdone stuff, but I know it's like not like really a good idea all the time. All right. Cool. And actually, if I'm gonna run the dishwasher tonight, I can just put that bad boy right on top. Ha. Yeah, 20, let's see, if we're gonna, we did 20 minutes, and so now we've added another 4. Let's see what that's at. And I'm actually gonna give it the 5th and 6th minute. So we're up to 26 minutes, presently. And I think that'll probably be a relatively reasonable assessment, or a relatively reasonable, oh, camera died, hold on. Swap the batteries real quick. Huh? No, just the camera. Yeah. Huh? Ah, righto. There we go. That's right. That's how you do it. Hit it with that BRB. And we're back. Just like that. The magic of keeping some extra batteries charged. Yeah, so originally, I put it on like the middle-ish rack, but now I've got it on the second to top rack. But not the very top, right? Because if you no sound, is it fixed now? Yeah, I was just making sure it was just me muting and that I didn't actually lose it. Yes. What was I saying? I forget. Oh, yes, about the rack. Yeah, so started the first 20 minutes I did on the middle, and then when we took it out, we added the butter. Now it's on like the second to top rack. I'm afraid if I put it on the top rack, I'll burn it. All right, let's get a plate ready. Also, because we're gonna want to slice into one of these. Like I say, we're supposed to let it cool for what, 10 minutes, but I'm afraid they're not done. So we'll check. Oh, you know what sucks? I never hit record. Oh well, this one must be a VOD. No local recording this time. That's all right. Okay. Well, they're definitely a bit more brown. They smell good. All right, here's what we got. Okay, so let's grab our spatula. We're gonna give one a little action, a little love in here. This one looks crazy. And if there was one I had to guess that wasn't done, it'd be this one or this one. So let's see. Well, it cuts right through the middle pretty easily. Oops, I took part of the other one, wouldn't it? Let's see what we got. We're gonna let that one fall apart. You're guessing more time. It might be more time. I mean, it is it appears to be done. Let me grab a fork. Let's see here. This outside is definitely done. So the outermost layer is done? Is it done? Yeah, it's done. That's done. Let's see what else. Dismantling it here. Oh yeah, no, the bread is done all the way through. Right? Yes, it is. It is. It's just it's very moist, but it is done. So that's kind of, it definitely falls apart, but it is done. Yeah, I mean, it's chewy, but that's kind of to be expected, like I was saying, because of the bread flour. And when you have a spiralized thing, right, that interior layer is just simply never gonna get as hot as the outside. So I would rate this as done. It is done. It is done. It is cooked. It's baked. It's fully baked. So now really, the last part is to turn off the oven. And then these get frosted, and then that's it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cheat for a minute here, because, well, we're not ready. Gotta let the rest of them cool for about 10 minutes so that your frosting doesn't just like totally melt, because it'll lose its consistency pretty quickly. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of personal frosting here. Put this in with some of this. So let's see. It tastes like cinnabon. I'll give them that. It really does. That's crazy. Wow. Nuts. All right, Chemical, so what we did, cook-wise, that was 26 total minutes. 20 minutes on the middle rack, 6 minutes on the top rack. Do I think the cooling down effect would give it less crumble? Give it less crumble. I'm not sure. I mean, as it's, excuse me, sorry, I got a sniffly. As it's cooling down, some of the moisture that's trapped in there is gonna run out, so it might dry out a little bit. But like I said, you know, I'm not sure it's necessarily a bad thing. I think if a regular old Joe Schmo bit into this, they would question if it was done. It is done, but like I said, that's because of the bread flour. So, yeah, I mean, it might dry out a little bit. Well, actually, I'm sure it'll dry out. Yeah, 22 to 25 minutes. All about, and again, if you use all-purpose flour, I bet that 22 to 25 is gonna be dead on. Because yeah, otherwise, with the bread flour, I figured we'd have to go a little longer. We did. And so now we're just kind of gotta wait for these to cool off. Almost cool to the touch. I'm gonna eat all more of this. I think also you could probably increase the frosting recipe if you wanted to. It doesn't, now that I'm looking at it, it doesn't seem like it's actually quite enough to like cover these the way that I want to. Damn. That's criminal. What am I supposed to do with all these? There's only two of us. LRB asked why I made so many, and I don't have an answer for that. because it was what the recipe said. Thank you, Chemical. I appreciate it. I hope this was helpful for you, so you can make them for you and your fiance, because that could be pretty fun. And like I said, they're pretty good. Fries and G's, I want to see where this other dough is at. It has not increased in size very much at all, so we are going to continue to let that set. What's that? Oh, move call. Good for me. Let's see. I'll take this off. Gotta get a picture for the gram, you know? Oh, excuse me. Those are still pretty warm. Let's see here. I feel bad, you know, eating in front of you. This is really good. Crazy. Well, Chemical, the VOD should stay up. I think it's like 15 days, I think. So you can come back and reference it if you want, or like screen record it or whatever. So you can have a look at what we did. That was crazy. I can't believe we did that. Good for us. All right, let's see what the effect is if I put a little icing on one of these. Is it gonna melt away right away, or? No, that actually appears to be pretty stable. All right. Oh, right, I unplugged the iPhone. Haha. Besides bread flour, what all-purpose would be your second option? Yeah, all-purpose would be your other option. You can also use pastry flour, but it's gonna come out really crumbly. If that's what you want, that's good. But if you don't want it to be too crumbly, then I would stick with I think all-purpose flour is probably what most people would go for, and that's totally fair. I have no judgment on that. Like I said, I just use bread flour because it's what we keep in the house, so it was easier for me to use that. So yeah, I'm just kind of frosting these off now. Man, that's crazy. And yeah, there you go. Oh, there you go. So now it's starting to crumble as it's drying out. So maybe I actually waited a little too long to frost them. I don't know. At this point, the pan's no longer hot to the touch, so that's probably a good measure of if they're ready to frost or not. Because yeah, we're not getting too much meltage, which is good, because we don't want it. We don't want to like lose it all into the bun. Whoa! Oh, we almost lost the entire container right there. This one has a little nipple on it, honestly. Okay, just give that some love. Go. We actually have a little left over. Okay. Well, there you have them. Cinnamon rolls from Cinnabon. Buy Cinnabon? It tastes like Cinnabon. That's good enough. Anyway. Well, cool. So we'll be back on Monday night for video games, and then Wednesday and Friday. And next Saturday, I got to think of something to make, but we'll make something. Probably something else out of this cookbook, because so far, it hasn't, I'm not surprised. Yeah, it really has. So yeah, we'll do something next week out of this same book. No, I'll just like pick a random page. Why don't we do banana flip cake? Oh, it calls for 2% milk. That's whack. I feel like if I do anything ethnic, I'm gonna get clowned, which is fair. Oh, hot crab dip. There we go. Why do you need a? Some of these are crazy. Why would I need a mixer, a stand mixer for crab dip? It does sound good though. Well, anyway, hey, thanks for watching. What am I doing? The chicken franchise? But I think, what do you think about the chicken franchise? Like Chick-fil-A? I actually do have a recipe that's very close to Chick-fil-A fried chicken. We could do that. That sounds good. That'd be fun. I gotta figure out why YouTube's so delayed. That's crazy. Oh, lemon chicken. We can do lemon chicken. Yeah, why not? Lemon chicken. I'm sure there's a recipe for it. I don't know if I have one. Let's see. We'll check the iPad. The magic iPad that makes all the scenes change. Although orange chicken is literally on the homepage. Let's see. Lemon chicken. Would help if I knew how to spell. Yeah, well, we'll do something along those lines. Other than that, masala brown sauce and mushrooms. Yeah, I think one of those. That's a good idea. We'll do one of those. So we'll do a dinner time again. A dinner time stream. So we'll shoot then for probably, it does take a while. We should probably shoot for like 5:30 start time for next week, but regardless, we'll do one of those. But hey, thanks for watching yet again. I appreciate you being here, and I hope you enjoyed it. And now we're gonna eat these. We're gonna eat these right now. So enjoy the rest of your night, and we will catch you later next week, perhaps. I still haven't put up an ending, so we're just gonna continue to have this be right back. But have a good night, man. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.